Welcome to the Dreamcast 84 channel. Green Scaly Halloween Makeup 84 here. Back when I was a kid, like really young, one of my older sisters put on this specialty Halloween makeup that, like, it must have been mixed with baking soda or something, but it just created this ultra flaky zombie flesh. And the picture that I'm using is not justifying that, but I was really close to putting it on my face. But even when I was young, I knew intrinsically that this might not react good to my skin, and I never really put on products not on my face, and my complexion's fine. I'm not really worried about it, but it's you know, it's true. I think that when women put stuff on their face, it's really counterproductive and it's kind of insipid, but this is beside the point. This is Sega Smash Pack Volume 1. There was a Volume 2 and I believe a Volume 3 that was released on PC. There's been other compilations like the Sega Ages, which is AGES, which is Sega in reverse. But there are Ages compilations. There's some Nintendo Switch games coming, like a Phantasy Star and I don't even know anymore. But yeah, there's some classics that are still being rehashed and put out. There's a Genesis compilation on the PS4 that just came out. And this game is very nostalgic for me, and I might as well just keep talking for a second because I'm not sure if I showed all of the manual. Now, I'm recording this game footage before I shoot the jewel case and the manual and the back insert and everything. I typically do that photograph session before my recordings, and I used to play Phantasy Star II on this compilation, but I never beat Phantasy Star II. And it's supposed to be pretty decent. Phantasy Star Online takes the cake, of course, but this also has the first Sonic the Hedgehog game, and Golden Axe, and a few others, which we will rehash. So some sort of wrestling game, and yeah, I'm supposing that we can get straight on into the game. I love this game. It's great. A great compilation. Good, solid compilation for the time. Yes'm. Yeah, like we said, Sonic 1, Altered Beast, which is a really good game. Golden Axe is really good as well. Revenge of Shinobi, that one's good. These are all good. Streets of Rage 2, it's the best one. You don't really want to play Streets of Rage 1, although there is a 6-pack for the Genesis that has Streets of Rage 1. So if you have a Sega Genesis, do yourself a favor and get that 6-pack game, because I think that's a must-have cartridge for any Genesis owner. Also, for some reason, Krusty's Super Fun House, The Ooze, and Sonic 2, of course. Vectorman is a wonderful game. I've beat this game on numerous occasions. The older I get, the harder these games are, because I just forget. Like, I used to be good at Toy Story, and I was thinking about doing a review for Toy Story. I'm just really fond of the Toy Story video game, and I'm very fond of the Toy Story, I believe, Burger King toys, and I'd like to track down a couple of those just for the heck of it. But I'm trying to budget and save because you know, I really need to have more in my savings. But yeah, Phantasy Star II is an excellent game. Shining Force is just some RPG. Never really appealed to me, but I think it stands up as a classic because of its, I guess, first-person view dungeon crawling elements. It's a lot of RPGs are like the first to do certain things, and I don't know. It strikes me as a turn-based thing. Wrestle Wars, that wrestling game I was talking about, not really too terribly familiar with it, but hey, that's cool. People really laud columns. They're very vocal about columns. A lot of people who like puzzle games in general likes columns, but in my professional opinion, I think Super Puzzle Fighter 2X is a superior game. Regular Tetris is a superior game over columns, but I mean, columns is okay. It's just kind of simplistic, I think. But yeah, you have puzzle game variety for the Sega Dreamcast. Now, Virtua Cop 2, you can play this with the Dream Blaster, the light, just the light guns that you can get. So it's a light gun game and it works and it's cool. This is an awesome compilation that you can get. It's called Sega Swirl. You can get this on web browser discs, and you know what? I want to start off with Sega Swirl because I'm fond of Sega Swirl, although I'm not very good at it. But you know, we're just going to sample these games, and when I say sample, I mean really sample them. The quality is crisp. You don't have to worry about blowing on a cartridge. I don't think that the Genesis had problems with blowing on the cartridge as much as the NES did. Let's turn it up so you can hear the background just a little bit more. I think 28 is a good fine medium. I love the way that snake looks like. He just looks like the Sega Swirl. Level challenge, sure, let's just do this. Untimed, why not? I don't really want to be constrained necessarily. You bust little combos, like the blues are gonna form together, and that's basically the game. And you can get high scores and email your friends, and this is essentially the game. I'm really not gonna get into it like that, but it's pretty good. It's just something to play. I never really understood the appeal of this game too terribly much, but I am really fond of it because I remember playing this on demo discs and just kind of playing it for variety's sake. I need to do myself a favor and play some of these demo discs just to kind of revisit, because I remember just really liking Demolition Racer No Exit, and then playing the game and playing the retail game later on as an adult and not liking it as much. I remember liking San Francisco Rush a whole lot on the demo disc, but didn't like it as much when I reviewed it. It's weird how your approach to games through demo discs can impact your purchase decisions and your opinions. But this is Sega Swirl. Now let's do a soft reset, see if that does anything. Okay, it works. When you exit to the main menu, it actually works. There are compilation games that don't. Wait. Exit Sega Swirl. Okay, cool. It worked. Eureka. I used to have a tent that was a fond tent when I was, it was my go-to tent, and it was a Eureka brand tent. And whenever I say Eureka, I think of Eureka's Castle, and I think of Eureka tents. So let's do Virtua Cop 2 with the controller. House of the Dead 2 is a great game. Virtua Cop 2 is a great game as well. If you have a light gun, you owe yourself a favor to get your hands on Death Crimson OX and Mission. What is it? Control Mission or something. I'll put an overlay down for that one. And I want to say there's another one. There's a little mini game for Demolition Racer. Demolition Racer is one of those games I'm just going to keep bringing up just for the sake of bringing it up. That's why I'm reviewing a lot of these similar games, because I just kind of want to get it past me, you know. Hey, it's Yu Suzuki's little subdivision. Little teeny tiny demo mode here. Of course, you just point and click. That's what you do.
Virtua Cop 2.
Virtua Cop. Yeah. Game over, yeah. Let's do beginner because we're just like that, okay?
Beat Chase.
Good, solid, you know, light gun game. I love it.
Let's go.
Not playing it appropriately, just kind of showing you what it looks like. B button is reload. A button is shoot. I used to play House of the Dead 2 with the controller all the time, and I had fun despite not having a light gun. So this is what it looks like, and it's pretty much what you imagine. You just kind of like, you know, look, you can imagine. You shoot the bad guys and you don't shoot the good guys. That's basically what it is. So it's like teaching you about gynocentrism. It's like don't shoot the women's. It's always the men's. Sometimes I like to shoot the victims just to do it, but yeah, this game is dope, you know. Now it might be hard to get back. Well, I insert game disc. I already got it. Okay, yeah, the Dreamcast is finicky like that sometimes. I kind of like that there's no opening movie. It's a little bit simplistic. Good for the review. But the presentation's cool because it's just some like retro-looking TV that like looks futuristic. Let's do columns. I don't want this to be too terribly long, but we do what we do. Just love the old Sega logos from the Genesis. You know, the Sega Genesis is just such a classic console. I have like 3 or 4 of them. I have the Model 2, the Model 1. I may or may not have a second Model 1. I do have one of those like at games versions. So I have about 3 or 4 Genesis consoles, and it's a wonderful console. And I have a scaled down collection. I used to have like a crazy collection, but I just reached a point where I'm like, hey, I just want to get the games that I grew up playing. Oh, I think you have to hit, yeah, you had to hit B instead of A. The volume is a little bit grating, so yeah. Now, I said this was kind of simplistic. I mean, you know, things escalate, but yeah, music and stuff and presentation and stuff is pretty sweet. You just match colors, and you can tell that there's a little bit of an addictive quality. It's a lot of people like this game, and a lot of people are vocal for this game. I don't think that this game deserves the praise that it has, because like Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine deserves more praise than this game. But I guess this came out at a critical time. This is one of the early release Genesis games, I'm assuming. But this is Columns. I tried to soft reset, but yeah, there's something to do when you try to soft reset. It just takes you to the soft reset menu or something. One of the better compilations, and it's like the only compilation for the Sega Dreamcast. Wrestle War. I take that back. There was the Midway Arcade Treasures. There's Atari Anthology. No, Atari Anniversary Edition. So there was the 2 Midway games, the Atari Anniversary Edition. I don't know if you would count Centipede and Miss Pac-Man and Frogger because they packed in, or you're able to unlock the original games, the arcade games with those. So if you're, generally speaking, if you're a fan of classic gaming, the Dreamcast has a pretty good selection of good safe titles, but Raspberry Pi is always an option, isn't that right? I forgot his name, the YouTuber. It just escapes me. I'm sorry. Now I feel bad.
Welcome to Wrestle War.
Yeah, but this is Wrestle War. I'm just button mashing. Yeah, this is primitive. I have no idea. This feels really out of place, because who really played this? This might have been a game that people played in Japan, and that's the only reason why I can see that this is justified. So I don't really care about Wrestle War, so. On to the next one, Shining Force. We're just kind of going in the just clockwise motion, actually. So it's actually like a clock, because it says 12 great games on the cover. And I wholeheartedly agree. I think that it's a slight exaggeration, because I don't think all of them are great. I think Wrestle War was subpar. Yeah, I'm not going to look at the whole opening cinematic, even though I am, kind of mesmerized by that pulsating blue orb. I just wonder what's going to happen. I love how ingenuitive, old games used to be. They, just made do with the primitive graphics, and just really did a great job. I love old games for that reason. Whenever there was a, classic game resurgence where people were just wanting to play like 32-bit games or 16-bit games or whatever, I mean, that's cool. 8-bit games, whatever, it's cool. But I always just preferred the better graphics of the 3D systems. I love 6th Gen, and I always will. I always prefer the 6th Gen. I always wanted to be immersed, and the 6th Gen just provided that happy medium between. This music is horrible, by the way. I'm not sure if the audio is supposed to be like that, but the Dreamcast provided a happy medium between creativity and gameplay variety. Launch games was just intense. It's the Dreamcast is the one-stop shop. It really is the ultimate gaming system. This looks a lot like Phantasy Star II, which is on this compilation, so let's just assume it plays like any other RPG on the Genesis, because I don't have time for that. Okay, that was Shining Force. Phantasy Star II. I'm not in any danger of like trying to get sucked into any kind of Phantasy Star game, because Phantasy Star Online has more of an addictive quality, in my opinion. The music is great. I have a soft spot in my heart for this game. I feel like crying. I'm not going to. Not because I want to suppress tears or suppress my emotions. I just know that I'm not going to. But I do feel emotions. I want to like this game, and I totally do, and I don't know, it's like this, people who play Phantasy Star Online, they criticize the Genesis games. You know, they say they're pretty much impossible to beat and stuff, but they sure are fun, and they take me back. I think it's worth checking out. So many memories. You can like name your little characters. You can only use like 4 characters or something. Oh yeah, you gotta select with the B button. It's stupid, but that's the way things are. I think we could do D, C. We can't do Dreamcast. Well then, let's start then, I guess. Haunted by a Nightmare. It's such a good presentation for an RPG. I recommend trying to get as far as you can, but I always kind of reach a corrupted game save file or something, or I play other games and like sometimes like Shadow Man will change your VMU icon and stuff, and or like playing different games will affect your game saves, and that's so lame. I might be remembering things wrong, but I don't know. It's like I think that your game saves end up getting corrupted somehow. But man, I love this game. It's just, I don't know what I would rate it because I never beat it. But you know, I'm not rating the game in particular. I just think that it's really good to have a version of Phantasy Star Online on hand. I don't think I've ever played Phantasy Star 1 on the what was it, Master System. Did they call it Mega Drive, or was that the Genesis and PAL region? Because I know that the Genesis was called the Mega Drive in PAL. But what was the Master System called in PAL? I'm always asking you, Gollum Cone. Oh, I had a character on Phantasy Star Online. This is funny, and I called her Nee because in the Dreamcast magazine it showed you how to make a Nee character. That's NEI, the purple chick right there. And I remember this guy online, this was before like anybody was really aware of trolling and stuff, but people legitimately thought I was a female. Like, I guess people have come to terms that if there's a female character, it's probably a dude. That's how I approach things. But you'd be surprised on Phantasy Star Online, people totally make characters that are female all the time that are male. I don't know if that goes hand in hand with gender fluidity or anything, but apparently they are BFFs because she follows him, he follows her. See, if you just talk to people, they'll, I think you can, is it A button? Yeah, you hit the X button to talk to people, but I love the graphics, and you know what? It looks really good on the upscaler too. It's just like the pixels and the black, the shadow effects, they just pop. I love some of these primitive games because your imagination kind of goes through. But this is the main city area, and you can imagine you just that's like the place where you heal, and you can buy, I believe, armor right there. Could be wrong. It could be something else. I love this game. I don't know. I'm not really that great with some games. I mean, I'm not going to say I'm bad with 16-bit games or the 32-bit or whatever the Genesis was. I forgot. It's not information that I withhold in my memory banks as much as I probably need to, but random battles occur, and I have to include at least one battle in my review, so this is what the screen looks like. I don't really have to... Well, let me at least strike them once, and I'll switch games. Yeah, fight. Show me striking them. Do I have a... Yeah, I have a sword equipped. This is just a time sink, you know. You're going to lose your life playing this game, but sometimes if you're playing a good game, it's just worth investing some of that time. I've dumped so much time in Phantasy Star Online, it's insane. Yeah, he's dead. Okay, cool. I love how on that TV there's a little basket with cartridges on there. That's a really nice touch. Makes you think of like a log cabin in the woods with electricity, and you just see that in the corner and like a comfy looking chair, and you're just like, yeah, this is how I'm going to spend my days. That's my ideal life, just sitting back and playing games. But you know what? It's good to contrast that with like work and like just living your life, because we really do take for granted our jobs, because working is a blessing. You're able to just like stay busy and keep your kind of keep your mind off yourself. It's a good little exercise in self-discipline, and you know, it's really not that bad if you just adopt an attitude of gratitude. Now, I played this game tons of times. There's a little light right there, and then you can do the thing where you freeze the screen, and yeah, this is awesome. Vectorman is awesome. I just froze the Sega logo. It's cool. Look at that. Blue skies. Love the graphics. It's just so... I need to get back playing that Genesis, man. I just need to go back to my roots. I played Sonic the Hedgehog 2 growing up so many times. This was one of my mainstay games too. I grew up with this game. Krusty Super Funhouse. There was a couple more that I rented. We had an NES growing up. Yeah, like I had an NES and a Genesis, but you know, my family never really got me. I mean, I was the only one playing the game systems, but my family didn't really get me a bunch of games. Like I've literally just had like 5 games, and I was like renting games. Like I remember renting Toe Jam and Earl, the first one on Genesis, and there was this place called Video Village right next to a Little Caesars, hooked right into a Harris Teeter. So, and yeah, it's demo mode, and here I am just lamenting or just waxing nostalgic. And speaking of Saved by the Bell, that's very Saved by the Bell, but kind of done up, more futuristic and awesome looking logo. I'm geeking out about Vectorman, but that's the sign of a good game, because you can go into options. Did I do it right? Okay, yeah, sound effects. Difficulty, easy. Lame, that's cool. It's like let's hit start, whatever. I can't skip this part. 95, that's when the first Sega Rally Championship came out on the Saturn. This is a late release Genesis game. There was some sort of contest back in the day where you would win a copy of Vectorman or something. I don't remember exactly. That little text scroll told you a little story about Vectorman. So, and yeah. You can play with the analog stick. Right here, you gotta duck while you shoot. I beat this game numerous times, but I'm more impatient with games these days. I just kind of play them like I'm, you know, I don't really play them too terribly seriously anymore. I'm just like doing reviews and stuff, and to be honest, I'm just watching movies here lately. Not just playing Dreamcast for these reviews. Showing you guys what's up on the Dreamcast. Like, acting like nobody's done this before, but Nobody's done it exclusively like I've done it. Making it a point to review all of the Dreamcast games here on the Dreamcast 84 channel, where we turn into drills. You can turn into little things as you progress. The game is pretty awesome. Iconic, wonderful. That's a little health thing. I got like a little extra health thing. But this is a good little idea of what Vectorman is about, and Vectorman is a wonderful, wonderful game. Alright, Streets of Rage. There's this series called Beats of Rage on the Sega Dreamcast homebrew. If you go to theisozone.com, you can easily download an ISO for you to burn, and you know, it's a little bit tricky to figure out image burn. I don't recommend Disc Juggler. I couldn't figure that out, but yeah, you can get your hands on Beats of Rage, which is basic beat 'em up game mechanics. And you got all of these like sprites that people, you know, have done. You know, there's like a Battletoads one, and there's like this one funny one called Hatchet Ninjas, which is like a, you know, ICP reference, I suppose. Insane Clown Posse. And yeah, I have to show that guy a little bit, but I'm selecting with the B button, having to remind myself of that. There's been other games where the schematics you have to select with the B button for some reason. I remember playing as the chick a lot, maybe because her stats are good. Let's be this guy, just because I'm against women, against females. Yeah. I am against females for moral reasons, because they don't address problems in the world. They're just they only care about themselves. And yes, you can generalize about women because of observable reality. Stereotypes are formed from observable reality, and women deserve the stereotypes they get. And the whole NAWALT argument, the not all women are like that argument, is null and void. And their actions speak louder than their words. Just never trust a woman. Just look at how they treat you. Things are not equitable. The game is rigged. Just get all bulked up like this guy and just beat up people for random. But don't beat up just anybody. Actually, don't beat up anybody. Just don't. Just be a cool little Samaritan. Be a good Samaritan. Help people out, but do it from your heart and be selfless about it. Don't expect anything, and I don't, just aspire to be a good person is all I'm saying. Yeah. But yeah, the graphics are pretty sweet. A lot of people like this game, but I never liked it as much as some people do. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Streets of Rage 2, man. So that was that. Revenge of Shinobi. The Sega CD version was pretty sweet. Back when I had a Sega CD, I would play some of that, you know, full FMV, full motion video of. That was a good game that kind of showcased full motion video and did it up pretty good. I think I had one called The Masked Rider, and that was pretty good too. It's really sweet. Kind of reminded me of Power Rangers / something Godzilla Ultraman type thing. Good presentation, short and to the point. I think Revenge of Shinobi 2 or something is on that Sega Smash Pack, but I could be wrong. There's some sort of like menu cheat where you can get ultimate, infinite Shoryukens, which is those little ninja throwing stars. Oh, I hit the X button, and that's my special, and I just used it up, but that's okay. Trying to bypass his blocks. Trying to be tricky. The music is pretty sweet. Very nostalgic. I just remember playing this game a couple times just off of this compilation disc. But Revenge of Shinobi. Yeah. Let's turn up the music just a little bit, because this game deserves a little bit of praise. I mean, I always get stuck in these games, but good presentation, good music. I mean, you know, gotta acknowledge, respect. Yeah. You can do a little double jump. Yeah, enough of this. The Revenge of the Nerds 2. The Revenge of the Nerds 3, Nerds in Love, or Nerds in Paradise. I think it was Nerds in Love. Booger. Those movies hold up. Yeah, select with B. I know better at this time. I always used to play as the chick, but I guess I was kind of gyno-centric. But I mean, you know, she does have the most health. I don't know why women typically have the most health and stuff in games. It's just kind of gyno-centric. Death Adder is the name. Death Adder is his name, oh. Death Adder is the bad guy of this game, which is Golden Axe. What happened to Silver Axe? What happened to Bronze Axe? What happened to Alchemy? The medieval times were shrouded in mystery. See, I rhymed. And all the girlies said, I'm pretty fly for a white guy. Yeah, Offspring was dope back in the day. I love that Americana album. Do you guys like Americana from Offspring? That was a good album. You can double tap and do a little charge. See? They charge right back, though. They use their Batman charge card. Okay, enough about Batman. Oh, wait, you can, look at this. You can kick him in a sack, and he gets the little potions. These little magic potions, and you can do a little magic thing. Yep, so we're almost done here. Altered Beast is a classic. It's a very tough as nails game to beat. It's just a tough game. So I'm proud of myself for uploading some good content today. I did 2 videos today. I just did a Redbox review. I'm gonna upload this tomorrow after I upload another one. But this game is worthy for any Dreamcast collector. I think it's let's drop our remote. This is a really good game. I'm talking about the compilation, not necessarily Altered Beast, even though I used to have an Altered Beast t-shirt, but I gave it to my ex-girlfriend because I was like, whatever, you can sleep in it, whatever, but you know what? I kind of hope she still has it and she thinks of me and she has regrets. Probably not, because of hypergamy, and let's be real. It's kind of like, it goes hand in hand with confidence, because you can be as confident as you can. You can be super duper confident, but that means nothing because you need to be realistic as well. Like, you know whether or not you're able to activate a woman's hypergamy because you kind of already know. Like, all of this information we come across online is just confirmation bias, because a lot of stuff we kind of understand on a spiritual level. I mean, I guess you can make the argument that animals are spiritual as well. Like, they're very advanced when it comes to spiritual knowledge and just knowing, because like they kind of know. Like, animals know when they're going to go to the vet and stuff like that. You know. Enough with Altered Beast. But yeah, it's ridiculous how much you got to pass the poo tests that women put you through, because they will lose respect for you if you don't pass those tests, and they're always trying to put you through tests, because I guess they just want a reason to see if they can dump you for a higher status man. So, you know, going your own way and becoming asexual bypasses the whole game because the game is rigged. And it's not equitable to the sexes. But, you know, hey, this is the Dreamcast 84 channel where we can discuss MGTOW stuff, videos, video games, movies, analyzing social engineering and marketing, playing good old Sonic 1 where it all started. Oh, that was just a little demo mode. We want to actually play it. We want to go to Emerald Hill Zone, Green Hill Zone. I think there was an Emerald Hill Zone in the second one. You can use the analog stick. I remember playing this with the one of the add-ons. I was testing the ASCII flight stick. I remember vividly from this channel testing this game with the ASCII flight stick, so that's a little fond memory. Isn't it funny how we have like memories of like unintended things? Like you might watch a movie and really enjoy it, and you might watch that movie a couple times, then you watch it with somebody and they don't enjoy it as much, but you remember sitting down and watching that movie with that particular person more than the actual movie itself. So, yeah. You can't really spin dash in this game, which is kind of the flaw. There's been like fan hacks of this game where people have included the spin dash for this game, and I think that with games like this, it's kind of a good thing. Oh, that was such a cop out. I know you guys saw that. Not proud of that movement, but that's cool. When people do like fan hacks and stuff of Sega games, they normally do a really good job. I think I've played some kind of bad Mario hack games. There's some on that Nestor DC disc, and Nestor DC is great, by the way, because it gives you just tons of NES variety, and it's really nice to play games that you kind of overlooked or weren't even aware of back in the day, so it's cool. I just play Nestor DC primarily for Jeopardy Jr. I'm very fond of that. I didn't really grow up playing Jeopardy Jr. I just really like the 90s trivia. And it's an easier version of Jeopardy. I don't like regular Jeopardy. Regular Jeopardy with Alex Trebek, not cool, guys. Not cool. Too hard for me. I don't care about the Aurora Borealis of everything. I mean, Aurora Borealis is one thing, but the Aurora Australis, oh man. Where's my spin dash? Oh wait, I'm not able to do spin dash. See, you just have to run and gain momentum. But for the time, this really kind of gave platformers a good name. It really revolutionized platformers, you know. I mean, what's not to like about Sonic the Hedgehog? With I don't think Tails made an appearance. This is just a Sonic game. Tails made his appearance in the second game. Yeah, you can do a little mini game, and I missed the opportunity. That's very unfortunate, but the mini game is kind of interesting. I might play the second stage just to do it. I mean, this is a pretty good compilation. I showed all of the games, I believe. 12 games total. I don't know if you would count Sega Swirl as a full game. I don't. It just doesn't feel like a full game to me. And some of them are kind of cheap, like that Wrestle War. Just seems kind of cheap. It's just they took like any old game and just put it up there. I felt like that was kind of a cop-out, but, you know. What are you going to do? That's weird. I felt like I was going to stop or something. Just classic music. Like, sometimes I think about the random stages, like Oil Slick Zone, with those metal octopuses that shoot at you, and I think it's called like Oil Rig Zone or something. I like Chemical Plant Zone music. I even like some of that later stage stuff. I'm thinking about Sonic 2 primarily. Okay, let's get to the special stage. I can't. I just can't. Now, when I got my mind set on something that I want to do, I'm going to do it. So I'm just going to stop the video and then pick up on the special stage at the end of this level. Alright, I feel like I'm near the end now, so. Am I able to do the... Oh, I forgot I can't do the special stage when it's like this. Oh, well, Eggman. He's pretty easy to defeat. Or is he Dr. Evo Robotnik? I think he was originally Evo Robotnik. The cartoon, the original cartoon was like off the chain. I really like the original cartoon, like the, you know, chili dogs. There used to be little PSAs, like in the G.I. Joe stuff. Those G.I. Joe parodies are really funny, but Sonic, it would be like, that's no good. Now, if somebody wants to give you a hug and you don't feel comfortable, withdraw and call the cops. Which is pretty good advice, actually, but, you know. If someone tries to give you a chili dog and it's green, that's no good. I'm trying to think of like horrible advice that Sonic would say. Is this a Sonic 1 review? I mean, if I was to review Sonic 1, I would give Sonic 2 a 10. Because Sonic 2 is amazing. Because I think that it really makes the first game... it really extrapolates the good qualities of the first game. It's definitely a 10. I think that the lack of the spin dash kind of cripples it. Not completely. It's a good, solid platformer for what it's worth. It's just that I would not give it a 10. Sonic 1 on the Sega Genesis, but it is an iconic game. And I want to say a solid 9, just because, you know, the spin dash really does enhance things. So I guess just for the sake of this review, I'd give Sonic 1 a 9, but the compilation itself... I gotta give this compilation a 10 because you can play all of these games, and this was kind of before compilations really got big. And the 6th gen really kind of started the compilation stuff. But there are some Sega Saturn games, like I think there's some like Panzer Dragoon compilation games where you can play 1 or 2 or 3 of them. No, I mean 2 or 3. You can't just, if they're compilation, that does not infer that it's a solitary affair. My vocabulary is on point today. I like that. It never seems like it stays. It's just, I don't know, but getting oxygen to your brain always helps, and, you know, other factors, but we just won't, I don't know. There's no reason why I should feel like I'm being controversial, and there's like, you know what's controversial? Society and how judgmental society is when it comes to just simple truths. I think that intuitively, if you want to know how to retain some mental acuity, you should definitely look into it. Now, I was going to try to do that special stage, but I guess, I don't know, maybe we can just save that for another day. But, yeah, this is Sega Smash Pack Volume 1. I always thought it was kind of a cop-out that it was never, you know, Volume 2 was never released for the Sega Dreamcast, but I guess it's a no-brainer because, you know, it's just, you know, the Dreamcast only lasted a couple of years, you know, like 2.5 years. Very kind of sad. And my heart sunk when the Dreamcast tanked. I was really depressed and stuff. But then, like, I made a vow to go with any system that has Shenmue 2. I sound really sad talking about it, and that's because I am. So that's why I went for the Xbox original, because of the, you know, Shenmue 2 went on the Xbox original. And that was actually a really smart decision, because the Xbox original was the graphically superior console at the time. And I just really like this. I think it's really kind of awesome to play the first Sonic and just all of these. My favorite games on this is Sonic the Hedgehog, because it's just such an approachable game. Altered Beast is great. I'm just kind of looking down counterclockwise at this point, but Altered Beast is fun, but I don't. It doesn't have that pop culture appeal that Sonic has. Golden Axe has a lot of that pop culture. I think Golden Axe is really fun with two people. Revenge of Shinobi is like a hardcore game. I think it's just a good, solid game. But even though it's hard, and you know, I haven't beaten a lot of these games, but Streets of Rage I have beat on numerous occasions. But it's a crowd pleaser. Vectorman is a must-have. I think Vectorman and Sonic are two of my favorites on this compilation for sure. Phantasy Star II is definitely another one. Yeah, that's definitely my top three. Shining Force, it's just kind of like Wrestle Wars, just kind of thrown in there. I'm indifferent to it. Columns, it's like, meh. Virtua Cop 2 really kind of saves this compilation too. I'm not saying that this game is suffering from any kind of lack of quality, but it rounds things off in a very good way. And plus, it's a 3D game, so it's really nice and refreshing to play. I mean, you can argue that Vectorman is a 3D game, but it's really 2.5D. Sega Swirl is just a nice little add-on too, but it's kind of tacked on. Virtual Cop 2 was a good decision. Columns was just kind of a throwaway, like, whatever, it'll just add to the quality. Same with Wrestle War and Shining Force, but Phantasy Star 2, I'm just really glad and grateful to have it. Vectorman is just such a good game. It's way better than Vectorman 2. You know, they did a really good job putting this stuff together, and, you know, I'm just really fond of just any early version of Sonic, and this is just, I'm a big fan of the second one, then the first one. I never really played 3 or Sonic and Knuckles, because I always got stuck in them. But, yeah, I'm not mentioning these games as much, but Golden Axe is a personal favorite. I think it's good. Altered Beast, I'll sit down and play. But, yeah, it's just a good compilation. I love it. 10 out of 10. Totally recommend. It's a great game. It's a great game. Play this game. Play a game of Vectorman. Play a game of Phantasy Star 2. Play a game of Sonic the Hedgehog. And, you know, just, you know, enjoy life and be grateful and count your blessings and, you know, stay focused on the good stuff and manifest good things into your reality. Thank you so much for watching, guys.